The future is calling, and India and Ethiopia are ready to answer. Honorable members, as I conclude, I give you my word that we will work together as equals. We will build together as partners, and we will succeed together as friends. Thank you for the honor of addressing this parliament. Thank you for your friendship.
For 12,000 years, Ethiopia's Hayli Gubbi volcano was silent. Then it exploded without warning, blasting ash 45,000 feet into the sky and sending a toxic cloud racing across continents. Within 36 hours, villages lay coated in grit. Delhi's skies grew darker, and flights from Africa to India were grounded. How could a remote volcano paralyze millions, half a world away?
Now, high-speed winds, almost 100 to 120 kilometers per hour, picked up this ash from Ethiopia and carried it across the Red Sea. From there, the ash traveled over Yemen, Oman, and then moved over the Arabian Sea. This giant ash plume was visible even from space. Satellites saw a long trail of sulfur dioxide and volcanic particles stretching over 3,700 kilometers. Around 11 p.m. on Monday, the ash cloud entered India through Gujarat.
India. India has around 51% actively practicing spells and curses according to research, representing hundreds of millions of active practitioners given the nation's 1.4 billion population. India operates thousands of temples where demons actively receive worship through established practitioner networks. From village shamans to urban gurus, from temple priests to street magicians, millions actively practice supernatural manipulation. The Indian witchcraft system includes some of the world's most sophisticated practitioner networks operating through caste systems where certain families are hereditary witches with established territories and client bases. Every temple has active practitioners performing rituals, every festival involves active supernatural practices, and every spiritual teacher likely practices some form of magical manipulation according to investigative reports.
The volcanic ash may be a new arrival, but for most in Delhi, it is just another layer atop a sky that has long been heavy and gray. The crisis, for now, is measured in flight paths and advisories, not in emergency rooms or city streets. By mid-morning, the aviation sector in India was thrown into chaos. Air India, Indigo, and Akasa, three of the country's largest carriers, issued immediate cancellations for dozens of flights. The decision came after meteorological alerts confirmed the Ethiopian ash plume had reached flight levels between 25,000 and 45,000 feet, the critical cruising altitude for most commercial jets. Pilots and ground crews scrambled to adjust schedules, but the orders were clear. No aircraft would cross the affected corridors until further notice. The impact rippled far beyond airport terminals. Cargo handlers in Mumbai and Delhi watched as shipments of fresh flowers, seafood, and temperature-sensitive medicines piled up in warehouses. India's vast export industry, which relies on daily air connections to the Middle East and Europe, faced mounting losses by the hour. Flower exporters, who depend on overnight flights to deliver blooms to Dubai and London, saw entire consignments at risk of spoilage. Pharmaceutical companies whose vaccines and specialty drugs require an unbroken cold chain scrambled to reroute deliveries or halt them altogether.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has described India and Ethiopia as natural partners in promoting regional peace, security and connectivity. The Prime Minister said that India and Ethiopia have much to learn from each other and much to offer in partnership. He added that the two countries share not just common goals but also warmth of climate and spirit. Also warmth of climate and spirit. His address concluded with a standing ovation from members of the parliament.
It is a moment of a great privilege for me to stand before you today. It is wonderful to be here in Ethiopia, the land of lions. I feel very much at home because my home state Gujarat in India is also home to lions. I thank you for the immense privilege. Yesterday, I was also honored to receive the Grand Honor Nishan of Ethiopia from my dear friend, Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed. I accept this award with folded hands, with humility, on behalf of the people of India. Am Sagnalo. Honorable members, Ethiopia is one of the oldest civilizations in human history. Here, history is alive in the mountains, in the valleys, and in the hearts of the Ethiopian people. Today, Ethiopia stands tall because its roots are deep. To stand in Ethiopia is to stand where the past is honored, the present is full of purpose, and the future is welcomed with open hearts. Honorable members, India and Ethiopia share warmth in climate as well as in spirit. Nearly 2,000 years ago, our ancestors built connections across great waters. Across the Indian Ocean, merchants sailed with spices, cotton, coffee, and gold. Honorable members, my personal association with tea is well known, but it is impossible to come to Ethiopia and not mention coffee. It is one of your greatest gifts to the world. In an Ethiopian coffee ceremony, people sit together, time slows down, and friendship deepens. In India too, a cup of tea is an invitation to talk, to share, to connect. And just like Ethiopian coffee and Indian tea, our friendship is brewing strongest. Today, I stand before you among sisters and brothers with a deep sense of gratitude and bright hope for the future.
We claim that we are the origin of coffee Arabica.
Oh, wonderful.
A very good coffee. And this is a raw one. And this is roasted and grinded.
Ah, yeah, okay.
This is raw coffee.
Yes.
But this is ready for homemade
Okay,
coffee.
ready for my breakfast.
And especially this one, the honey from the forest.
Ah, wonderful.
This is organic. It's very healthy. So it's really beautiful. Very healthy one.
Very healthy.
Yeah, very healthy.
Yes. Oh, thank you very much.
So this is to remember Ethiopia.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
We wish you all the very best.
Ethiopia. We claim that we are the origin of coffee Arabica. Oh, wonderful. Very
Africa's largest coffee producer, Ethiopia, is having a record year. Its Coffee and Tea Authority on Wednesday said the country had earned a whopping $1.8 billion from exports of the bean over the past 10 months.
Coffee was once known as Satan's drink, or a Mohammedan drink. Yes, it's true that coffee is indeed Satan's drink. A Mohammedan drink in 1529, the Ottoman Turkish Mohammedans assaulted upon Vienna. In 1529, Ottoman Turkish agent Ahmed ibn Ibrahim, nicknamed Gran the Left-Handed by Ethiopian Christians, began the Islamic Jihad against Christian Ethiopia. And then Satan's drink, or Mohammedan drink coffee, began spreading throughout the world as a result of the Edomite and Ishmaelite jihad, and as a weapon of soul destruction, as a retribution. Before it was fully embraced by European Christians in the 17th century, coffee had a long and contentious history in the minds of Christians, who regarded it as the black bean of the Islamic world. While sipping cortados, espressos, and café au lait is common practice in Europe today, coffee was once considered a drink created by Satan for use by infidels, until the Pope tried a cup. When Pope Clement VIII came to power in the Papal States in 1592, the Ottoman Empire was on a meteoric rise in the Mediterranean and Eastern Europe. Since the Ottoman Sultan was also the Caliph of the Islamic world, the power of the Ottomans and the power of Islam were inextricably linked in the minds of European leaders, who believed nothing fueled the Muslim armies like coffee. Around 1600, when coffee began to gain popularity in Europe, the Christian world seemed to be fighting a war for survival in the Balkans against the Ottoman Sultan Mehmed III and then Ahmed I. The Sultan's massive armies were a real threat to Christianity in the East, and everything even remotely Muslim was considered perilous to the supremacy of the church. Christians drank wine as a social beverage and used it in Holy Communion ceremonies. Turks, Arabs, and other Muslims could not drink wine, so they drank coffee as a social substitute, leading Christians to believe that coffee must be the drink of the Antichrist. Priests and cardinals alike implored Pope Clement to ban coffee as Satan's drink. Coffee, when it first came to Europe from the East, was essentially a real-world metaphor for Islam. It was well known that Arabs drank coffee socially the way European Christians drank wine. Catholic officials and vintners alike were rightly worried the beverage would catch on, so they wanted Pope Clement VIII to ban it. Unfortunately for the priests and winemakers, the Pope decided to try a cup of coffee before making his decision. As legend goes, Clement was so taken with the drink, he decided to embrace it rather than ban it. Why, this Satan's drink is so delicious that it would be a pity to let the infidels have exclusive use of it, Clement is rumored to have said. Of course, coffee is actually really delicious. Probably wouldn't have been enough to satisfy the demands of his own vassals and their extreme feelings about a beverage that pretty much represented everything they were fighting against. The papacy back then wasn't the institution it is today. In those days, the popes had real power and faced real consequences for failure. Popes had been poisoned, tortured, and executed for less. But Clement was no softy, especially when it came to Islamic expansion. Just 1 year after he became pope, fighting broke out in the east once more, with Ottoman forces advancing in Croatia. New leaders in the predominantly Christian principalities of Wallachia, Moldova, and Transylvania renounced their vassal status to the Sultan, causing the Habsburg Empire to send its seasoned combat troops to the Ottoman front and forcing the Ottomans to raise an enormous army. The resulting 13-year war was one of the longest in a series of conflicts between East and West from 1529 to 1918, and it dealt a significant blow to Ottoman prestige. The massive Ottoman armies were met by a coalition of seasoned Christian combat veterans, fresh from fighting one another. led by the Holy Roman Emperor. Europe didn't gain much in the 13-year-long war, but it didn't lose ground either. After years of fighting and the resulting economic decline, the Ottomans were humbled. Their growth stopped, and they were forced to handle internal matters, all because the Pope was an effective leader. The relatively young Pope also brought England's King Henry IV back into the Catholic fold and ended various conflicts raging between France, Spain, and other principalities. He was so crucial in ending the infighting in Christian Europe and cementing such a large alliance against Ottoman aggression that no one could doubt his anti-Islamic bona fides. Although he'd united the leadership of Christian Europe, Clement knew it was still full of drunkards, and he believed allowing a strong, but not intoxicating, alternative was a good idea. Believing coffee could help fuel Christians the way it had Muslims, Clement rechristened coffee as a blessed beverage. The energy-boosting black beans of the Islamic world became a gift from God to all of Christendom, and no one challenged Clement's decision or tried to assassinate him. Coffee, then still brewed in the Turkish style, didn't take Europe by storm right away. It had to compete with beer, wine, and the complicated process of getting beans from the Middle East and Africa. Once the logistics were settled, coffee soon took its place as the top beverage, making its way across the continent and into the New World. Today, Europeans drink 11 pounds of the stuff per person every year, all because the Pope gave it his blessing. Due to the stimulating effects, dangerous connotations, and soul-destroying Islamic nature of chat, coffee, and tobacco, the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church has forbidden Christians from using them, for they were reserved for Muslims. Drinking coffee could even be considered an act of conversion to Islam. Ethiopian Christians began to consume coffee at the end of the 19th century. In 1889, the traitor un-Ethiopian Emperor Menelik II of Ethiopia popularized especially the devil's drink, coffee, describing it as an Ethiopian drink originating in approximately 850 AD, thus a Christian drink, despite the Ethiopian Orthodox Church banning coffee in the 12th century. Unforgivable. From Ethiopia, coffee beans quickly spread with the help of Yemeni traders to Mecca and Medina, Cairo, Damascus, Baghdad, and finally Istanbul, after the fall of Constantinople. Two travelers from Aleppo and Damascus reportedly opened the first coffee house in Istanbul. It became so popular that it spread across to the East Indies, Indonesia, and to the Americas. From the port city of Mocha, Yemen, Satan's drink coffee spread to Europe through the Antichrist Ottoman Turks. Unveiling all the secrets about coffee from the Ethiopic book, Dersana Sion. Dersana Sion, Homily in Honor of Zion, is the title of an ancient ghost text, historical book, mainly devoted to the glorification of the Ark of the Covenant and St. Mary. The Dersana Zion is read during the celebration of Mariam Zion on 21 Hodar, 30 November or 1 December. Feasts, the day on which the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church, EOTC, celebrates the arrival of the Ark of the Covenant in Ethiopia. In the Dersana Zion, from page 265 through 268, we read the following. A man named Muhammad, who was a teacher of the Quran, was in the company of demons because of his disbelief. One day, while he was praying, the headache he had suffered from in his childhood was restored. While he was suffering from this disease, one day the devil came to him with his trickery and said, "My friend Muhammad, what have you done?" He said, "I had a headache and I am worried about this disease." He said, the disease that causes headaches is the devil himself. Muhammad replied, "I had a severe headache and I am worried about this disease." He said, "If I tell you a cure for my headache, will you do it and will you fulfill the will of my heart?" Muhammad replied, "Yes, I will do whatever you tell me to do." After this, the devil brings a plant called geth, chat, a plant called kusra, coffee, and a plant called astratus, tobacco, from their place and gives them to him, saying that they are medicine. If you drink this coffee, you will be cured quickly. He shows it to his children and grandchildren, saying, "Live in Mecca and Medina for the rest of your life." Muhammad also said that when he heated an iron pan, he would pretend to be coal and heat it like a fire. He would always heat it like coal, saying, "If you do not heat it like this, it will not be a medicine for you." He also said that the headache had stopped for a while, but later waiting for the time he would wake up. The three plants, the khat plant, the coffee plant, the tobacco plant, although their names are different, they are the same. Their work is the same. They are the demons of addiction, and coffee and khat are the offerings of Muhammad. These are the offerings that the inferno demons made in Mecca and Medina. This is common among the Arab barbarians of Islam. We will tell you how it came to Ethiopia. 3 men named Abel, Tona, and Baraka, who traveled according to the rules and laws of Muhammad, came with these plants along with 5 tobacco plants, pretending to be traders. These 3 plants, khat, coffee, and tobacco, are the sacrifices that the pagans offer to Satan. But for Christians, it is not right to eat, drink, or smoke these things. Those who eat, drink, and smoke these things will be condemned to hell along with the unbaptized. Have you not heard what the Bible says? In the image of God, the first Adam, who was created, ate the evil fig tree, which was called "You shall not eat of," and was stripped of his clothing, and was exiled from the Garden of Eden to this earth, which is a place of curse, fear, and torment. Our Lord has told us in the gospel that there are evil plants and good plants. Do not be deceived by eating and drinking these plants. Do not defile yourself by doing this and go to the house of God.
In France, hit by suspected meteorite while drinking coffee on her porch. A woman in France may have just become the second ever known person to be hit by a falling space rock after a tiny meteorite fragment allegedly bounced off her roof and struck her in the chest, leaving her with minor bruises. The unnamed woman, who lives in the town of Skermec in northeastern France, was on her porch drinking her morning coffee at around 4:00 a.m. local time on July 6th when she heard a loud bang from the roof and then felt something ping into her ribs, French to English news site The Connection reported. Initially, the woman thought that she had been hit by a flying animal like a bird or bat before she discovered a pebble-sized rock at her feet. She took the rock, which weighs around 1.8 ounces, to Thierry Rebnin, a geosciences consultant and formerly a paleogeology researcher at the University of Basel, for examination. The pebble looked similar to volcanic rock, but it showed signs that it had been superheated in the atmosphere. It was mainly made from iron and silicon, which are common in meteorites.
9-year-old Melina Fratellin was killed in the Adirondacks of upstate New York this past weekend. Police have charged her 45-year-old father, Luciano, with second-degree murder. Both from Canada and both vacationing in the U.S., Luciano is an accomplished entrepreneur and businessman, the founder of the Gambella Coffee Company. On that company's website, Luciano describes his upbringing in Ethiopia to an Ethiopian mother and an Italian father, and how he endured racism growing up. His official biography contains the following passages. First, that Luciano was left reinvigorated and reconciled the difficulties faced during his youth by embodying the Nietzschean attitude of that which does not kill him makes him stronger. This philosophy translated into greater financial success across numerous ventures, from architecture to real estate to construction, mining, and of course coffee.
The other day, Trump was in Saudi and they offer him a drink and he just keeps holding it like this. I don't know if you saw that. He just keeps holding a drink like this. He's going to hold a drink like that, hold a drink like this. Is this the one? Look at this one here. It's classic. It's like, oh, what do you want me to do with this?
Not drinking a damn
So MBS drank it, but he's not drinking it. He's just hanging on to it. It's like, oh, it's great. It's awesome.
He looks down at it.
Yeah, just give him the respect, but he's not going to drink it.
In 1683, a massive Ottoman army attempted to conquer the Austrian capital of Vienna. At the Battle of Vienna, they were defeated by a combined Christian force who, upon pillaging the Ottoman army camps, found coffee. Initially, they assumed it was camel food, so they burned it. But thankfully for them, a commander who had lived in the Ottoman Empire for a time recognized the smell. This helped coffee's immediate spread throughout Central and Eastern Europe.
The president created a real mystery with this tweet that he posted at 12:06 a.m. today. Despite the constant negative press, Kofefi. Everyone's having a blast trying to figure out what he meant.
I think it's Kofifi. There it is.
Okay, Kofifi.
The V is silent. C-O-V-F-E-F-E.
Kofefi, we're going to let you make the call this morning.
It is possible Trump meant to say coverage, but it came out Kofefi. The president seemed to be enjoying the back and forth. At 6:09 a.m., he sent out this tweet. Who can figure out the true meaning of Kofefi? Enjoy.
It is wonderful to be here in Ethiopia, the land of lions.
For weeks in August, Ethiopian boys dress up and perform songs from door-to-door neighborhoods across the country. In return, the boys get mulmul, that's bread freshly baked for the occasion in each house. Known as Buhe, the festival has its origins in the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. It marks the transfiguration of Jesus on Mount Tabor.
I feel it coming. I feel it coming, baby. I feel it coming. I feel it coming, baby. I feel it coming. I feel it coming, baby. I feel it coming. I feel it coming, baby.
A tropical storm around Florida.
This illustrates the birth of Hurricane Isabel, which occurred over the Ethiopian highlands. And the maturity of these cloud systems as they track towards the west, picking up energy, moving across the Sahel of Africa, gathering a lot of energy over the warm tropical waters of the Atlantic. This storm became a Category 5 and stayed a Category 5 for 3 days in a row, which is unprecedented for a hurricane in the Atlantic, finally making landfall as a Category 2. Now, when Isabel hit the United States, as a Category 2, it was an enormous Category 2. It was about 1,000 miles in diameter. It's absolutely huge. And this was an enormous windstorm for the mid-Atlantic. 3.5 million people were without power for as long as a week or so across a large area of Virginia, Maryland, and Pennsylvania. In this particular satellite sequence, you're able to track the entire life cycle of this storm. The white shows the cloud tops, and the colors indicate the rain intensity of this system. Now, a little bit more about the birthplace of these hurricanes. We have to focus in on Ethiopia itself. These are called the Ethiopian highlands. And what we're looking at here is terrain mapping information, which was acquired by the space shuttle. So it's very, very high resolution terrain information. You know, the Ethiopian highlands are a mountain range about 15,000, 16,000 feet tall, and they lie right along the Red Sea. The Red Sea is a rift zone. It's a crack in the earth where Africa is literally splitting apart very slowly. The moist trade winds flow over these mountains, and as the name might imply, it does come from the Saharan desert.
Was the Ark of the Covenant just stolen so it could be brought into battle?
Well, the city of Tanis is one of the possible resting places of the Lost Ark.
The Lost Ark?
Yeah, the Ark of the Covenant, the chest the Hebrews used to carry around the Ten Commandments.
What do you mean Commandments? You're talking about the Ten Commandments?
Yes, the actual Ten Commandments, the original stone tablets that Moses brought down out of Mount Horeb and smashed, if you believe in that sort of thing. You guys ever go to Sunday school?
Well,
Oh, look. The Hebrews took the broken pieces and put them in the Ark. When they settled in Canaan, they put the Ark in a place called the Temple of Solomon
in Jerusalem,
where it stayed for many years, until all of a sudden, whoosh, is gone.
Where?
Well, nobody knows where or when.
However, an Egyptian pharaoh
Shishak.
Yes, invaded the city of Jerusalem around about 980 BC, and he may have taken the ark back to the city of Tanis and hidden it in a secret chamber called the Well of Souls.
Secret chamber.
However, about a year after the pharaoh had returned to Egypt, the city of Tanis was consumed by the desert in a sandstorm which lasted a whole year, wiped clean by the wrath of God.
That's it.
Good God.
Yes, that's just what the Hebrews thought.
Now what's that supposed to be coming out of there?
Lightning. Fire. Power of God or something.
Beginning to understand Hitler's interest in this.
Oh, yes. The Bible speaks of the ark leveling mountains and laying waste to entire regions. An army which carries the ark before it is invincible.
There's a stirring in the silence, a thunder in the flame. The heavens hold their breath now. He's calling us by name. From the ashes of the altar to the roar behind the veil, the lion stands in glory, and the gates of hell will fail. We are not afraid of darkness. We were born to face the night. Armor on and fire steady. This is why we rise to fight. The lion is rising with fire in his eyes. He tears through the shadows with justice in his stride. The grave cannot hold him. The throne will not fall. The roar of the lion will silence them all. We are watchers born of thunder, flame and breath and vow. We have waited for this moment, and the time to strike is now. Every lie will meet the truth. Every chain will feel